of our brothers and sisters in the Family Islands. I'd be remiss to not acknowledge the tireless work of the Bahamian emergency responders, namely those in NEMA, the police force, the defense force, and the Disaster Reconstruction Authority. We hope this equipment continues to enable steadfast work you honorably conduct every day to keep this nation, Bahamians, visiting Americans, safe from extreme weather events. Thank you again for allowing me to highlight our enduring friendship. We're fortunate to have the dedicated and competent leaders we have present today, relentlessly preparing us for hurricane season and a more resilient future. Thank you.
Minister of Transport and Housing, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, told voters of Grand Bahama that the maritime industry in Grand Bahama is of special importance to her ministry. Andrew Coakley has more.
Minister of Transport and Housing, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, hosted a town hall meeting on Grand Bahama Monday evening to speak with persons involved in the island's maritime industry, hearing their concerns and discussing possible solutions for a more flexible and profitable industry. The meeting was held at the Mount Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock and drew a crowd of boaters, including fishermen and boating tour operators from the island's east to the west. Minister JoBeth Colby says the maritime industry in Grand Bahama is of great importance to her ministry because Grand Bahama, unlike any other island in the Bahamas, has a wide range of maritime engagements where some of the largest ships in the world have been serviced successfully.
There's also huge potential for the blue economy to be advanced here. The island of Grand Bahama is geographically positioned to facilitate secure transport to the Western Hemisphere, thus making Freeport a regular port of call. In addition to this, the local maritime industry is ripe with opportunity for commercial boating, yachting, and water sports activities. I say all of this to share how significant the maritime industry is to the Grand Bahama community, and to assure you that I am committed to providing the tools necessary to inform and equip you to take advantage of what this industry has to offer. Minister Colby Davis, pleased with the turnout, pointed out that for the most part, many of the people at the meeting were responsible boat operators, given the fact that they showed up hoping to not only express their concerns, but to offer some solutions or ideas to make the industry a better one for Grand Bahama. She did acknowledge, though, that there are some who may be undeterred in breaking the rules, either deliberately or ignorantly. She said the task by her ministry, as well as those good boat operators, is to inform and educate the other boat operators to do what is right and to get on board with ensuring the safety of all involved within the industry. And so we expect that we will have a very lively and fruitful and busy maritime industry. But coupled with that, we want to make sure we have safety. We want to make sure fathers, husbands, uncles, brothers return home to their families. And we want to make sure that where there is an issue, where there is a concern, where you feel that the regulators are maybe not helping as best as you can, you raise that with us so that we can go back to the drawing board and be able to fix it. For Your Government in Action, I'm Andrew Coakley.
I'm Carissa Williamson, and this has been Your Government in Action, a proud presentation of Bahamas Information Services. Join us on Tuesday evenings where we bring you highlights, coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.
watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, relief efforts continuing on the island of Bimini. A team from Urban Renewal is on the ground. Plus, the teachers union calls for administrative training following an incident at a junior high school. And the Minister of Health and Wellness addressing issues surrounding healthcare in Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tonight we begin with good news for residents of Bimini whose homes were partially damaged in the recent Bimini fire. A team from the Small Homes Repair Program led by the Deputy Director of Urban Renewal has arrived on the island to conduct assessments. And as we hear in this report, the team wasted no time in getting to work to restore some of those structures.
The team was actually on the ground from 7 o'clock Sunday morning.
Relief efforts are still underway for the residents of Bimini who were impacted by the devastating fire that destroyed 4 homes on Sunday, March 26. Urban Renewal Director, Senator the Honorable Kirkland Russell, says that building materials have been secured and repair work is underway, bringing much-needed relief to those affected by the tragic event.
Guys are already on the roofs in the house, stripping and getting those houses repaired. So we're trying to do that before the end of this week.
Other supplies were also brought in.
We were able to bring some supplies some toiletries, some cleaning supplies, Lysol, those kind of things. We were also able to bring some clothes and care packages. So the team is sorting those out this morning.
Reports indicate that 11 people were left displaced by the devastating fire with nothing but the clothes on their backs. However, officials have stepped in to provide access to clothing for those affected.
Each individual was given a certain amount of money so they could get some new clothes. You know, everybody is able to get maybe a pants, a shirt, a lady's a dress, and some shoes, some slippers, some underclothes, and those kind of things. So they would have already been given food vouchers so that they can collect food.
As cleanup efforts continue in the aftermath of the tragic fire, the Urban Renewal Director says a joint team from Social Services and Urban Renewal will remain on the ground to provide ongoing support and address any concerns of the victims as they begin to repair their lives. Well, Bahamas Executive Counselors and Allied Workers Union are calling on the Department of Education to train educators on the collective bargaining agreement. The officials say that the issues are arising in the school system can never be resolved if the proper training is not in effect. Jelanda Thompson-Everest reports.
BECAWU executives Manola Sayers Nelson and Pamela Murphy are stating that some administrators in the education system are confusing policy with practice, and that is becoming a major problem. They charge that incidents such as what happened at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School is a result of leadership failing to adhere to proper protocol. BECAWU Vice President Manola Sayers Nelson says that when it comes to dealing with grievance procedures, there's a protocol that must be followed.
Because, in education, even though we want everything to go right, we realize that conflicts and things will happen. And so we want to deal with them at the school level first. That is the first step, the stage in an individual grievance. We want to have the matter dealt with in-house. We don't want to air our dirty laundry. We want to have it dealt with in-house. So the first stage in the grievance process is actually to meet with the principal and try and see how best to resolve the issue. Now, the second stage is the situation is not resolved at the principal's level. It is then that the principal then brings in the district superintendent. So the next stage is carrying the matter to the district superintendent, who then now seeks to resolve the situation.
Nelson stresses that the matter regarding the teacher at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School did not have to happen if the principal met with the teachers when they tried to reach out to her.
With the grievance process, once the matter is given to the principal then, once she realizes it's a grievance, once a shop steward or a representative goes into her and says, we have a grievance that needs to be addressed, the principal then has 5 days to speak to the matter, to try and resolve the matter. If in the 5 days that is not that no resolve can be made, it is then unfair for the staff, for the individuals to just continue to be strung along because the grievance process is not being allowed to take its due course.
BACO Secretary General Pamela Murphy says that when conflicts arise, principals usually take it personal when it's not.
It is not about you. It is because of your lack of training and your lack of dealing effectively with what is going on your campus. And that is why the teacher now has to reach out and call for the union to come in to intervene. It's not personal.
The Secretary General noting that issues are inevitable, but educators must take their position seriously.
You might have been a good worker. However, you were not versed in those in the collective bargaining agreement for example, for the teachers, for us. You are not aware of the general orders, what general orders states. You are not aware of the Education Act. So it is on you then to now educate yourself.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Now, our ZNS News team attempted to reach out to the principal of Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School. However, she declined to comment. Well, in other news, the conditions at the Rand Memorial Hospital have been a source of frustration for patients seeking health care, as they have had to wait outside or under tents before getting medical attention. However, another issue regarding the morgue and the remains of those departed has come to the forefront. ZNS News taking these concerns to the Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Michael Darville. For some time now, Grand Bahamians have been voicing their frustration surrounding patient health care at the Rand Memorial Hospital. The Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Michael Darville, providing a glimmer of hope for patients waiting outside before getting medical attention, noting that modular units will soon be put in place.
I believe very shortly the team and engineering crew will be heading to Grand Bahama to put those modular units in place to resolve that issue of triaging patients on the outside of the Rand Memorial Hospital.
While plans are in motion to improve patient health care at the Rand Memorial Hospital, concerns regarding the facility's mortuary have also surfaced. The most recent, the mother of a 7-year-old boy calling into question the condition in which she received her son after he passed. The matter is under investigation.
That investigation should be completed by the end of next month.
Now, it is alleged that remains are being held in trailers at the Rand Memorial Hospital. However, the health minister denies those claims.
Bodies are actually being held at a funeral home that we went into the working relationship with when we started the work on the morgue at the Rand Memorial Hospital. As you are aware, the morgue, when we came into office, was in a terrible state, and we moved quickly to get that up and going. Now the construction is ongoing.
Darville says he understands the concerns and notes that a more dignified facility for the deceased and for those viewing their loved ones will soon be complete.
Well, the morgue is progressing. We anticipate we should have the morgue no later than July of this year. And there is a little bit of growing pains while that facility is being upgraded. But at the end of the day, we would have a better facility where our pathologists and where our loved ones can view the remains of their loved ones in the event that we have someone who passed away.
Now, the health minister announcing that early next month, the government will break ground for the new state-of-the-art hospital in Grand Bahama. During that time, they will unveil what they will do with the facility. Well, a local businessman speaking up in defense of two of the country's cruise ports after receiving some sharp critique. Confident that the tourism product is steadily improving, they believe there is still a lot of room for optimism. Shane Stubbs has more in this report.
The top 3 most hated cruise ports starts off with port number 1, Freeport, Bahamas.
That TikTok going viral on social media with disheartening reviews of both the Freeport and Nassau cruise ports. In that video, it says some cruisers would rather stay on the ship in Freeport due to limited range of activities beyond shopping and excursions. While in the capital, the port was described as overcrowded with aggressive vendors and hagglers that make some tourists feel unsafe. Some have even complained about the lack of authenticity. Speaking with businessman James Turner, he acknowledges the Grand Bahama Cruise Port being a commercialized area for container liners does subtract from the port feeling like an authentic cruise port. But reviews like this should change once the Carnival Cruise Port comes on stream.
When we look at what the government has advanced with the Carnival Cruise Port heading towards the eastern portion of the island, certainly it won't be long before people begin to sing much better accolades about what's happening in Grand Bahama in terms of a cruise port.
The senator does believe, though, it is important to provide a worthwhile experience that extends far beyond a cruise port.
When you deliver a superior experience, people tend not to focus on some of those transitional things, such as a port. The reality is we have to keep both islands and both areas very clean. We have to make sure that crime is almost non-existent in our midst.
In reference to the Nassau Cruise Port, Turner says,
Nassau has certainly come a long way and certainly has a long way to go, but they are definitely trending in the right direction. I believe when they're done with what they are developing out there, they're going to be among the best in the entire region. What we see tourism aiming at doing on Bay Street is further going to enhance the Nassau experience. So I'm not too worried about them because they are definitely heading in the right direction.
While the video is a matter of opinion, Turner believes those in the tourism industry are doing all they can to make improvements.
I think in the Bahamas, we have recognized that we have to improve on all of us involved with the tourism business, continue to thrive in that direction.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection is collaborating with the University of the Bahamas to open a forestry unit office in Grand Bahama. That story, sports, and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Easter sale you've been waiting for is happening March 31st and April 1st at Dolly Madison. This is your opportunity to fill your home with the latest and greatest appliances and accessories at prices that won't break the bank. Get 10% off on all appliances and 15% off in all other departments. This Friday and Saturday is your chance to make your home a haven of comfort and style at Dolly Madison's store-wide Easter sale.
List your home in Grand Bahama with H.G. Christie. Visit their new office in the Port Lucaya Marketplace. H.G. Christie, celebrating over 100 years of service.
Due to Carefta trials airing live on the ZNS network, ZNS Health Zone will air Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m.
We did a biopsy, and they found out that 15%, I only had 15% kidney function.
That's when he told me, your kidneys are failing. And I was like, what?
According to the Bahamas Kidney Association, that about 10 to 13% of our adult population in the Bahamas suffer from kidney disease.
We're finding kidney failure in a lot more younger people.
ZNS Health Zone will air Wednesday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. Tune in.
Hi, I am Corporal 3230 Perez Demerit of the Traffic Division, Grand Bahama. You can prevent a serious traffic accident by practicing safe driving. Here are a few traffic safety tips. Obey all traffic signals and traffic signs. Wear your seatbelt at all times. Reduce your speed and drive with due care and attention. Pull over to answer your cell phone, send a text message, or attend to any distractions, such as kids, pets, reading the newspaper, or eating. Finally, do not drink and drive. If you plan on drinking, use a designated driver. After all, it's all about creating safer communities.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Department of Environmental Planning and Protection is collaborating with the University of the Bahamas to open a forestry unit office in Grand Bahama.
Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, announcing that the Forestry Unit will open an office in Grand Bahama this coming May. The office will be located at the University of the Bahamas North Campus, and the minister says the goal is to become more effective and efficient outside of New Providence. He notes that the program will manage forest resources in the country.
Need of having that presence on the island. I know what it is for persons to really begin to think it's better out of Nassau. It's almost as if we think sometimes after the foreign is better. It's almost the same thing. And so the talents are in our family of islands, and we want to encourage the talent to return home. We're going to encourage, I want our persons to know they're important, and I want them to know that as their needs arise, they can be addressed right there on the island in real time.
Acting Director of the Forestry Unit, Danielle Hannock, explains that the department will focus on the different types of forest and how to feasibly manage them.
We partnered with the University of Bahamas to open up an office here at their downtown campus, as well as UB North, because UB North is in the heart of which was impacted by Dorian. And so we started efforts with the Bahamas Protected Area Fund with a project to have a nursery to regenerate areas. So we'd like to continue that work by opening up an office here, hiring officers here, train them in forestry methods, and to have areas where we could start to regenerate, meaning planting pine as well as other species that are essential, and then also cutting down what you see. So you have what we call a snag, which is a tree or the trunk that no longer has the crown, and so it's dying. So instead of it being there, we'll cut it down so it could actually help with soil regeneration in the forest.
Hannock expresses that the focus of the unit is also to see restoration efforts and at the same time restore the forest to its former glory.
Right now you have lots of palm that you see, you have the understory that is thriving, but we want to ensure that the pine can regenerate well and come back, and that will be over a course or a management of the next 30 to 40 years.
The Forestry Unit is also working on opening an office in Eleuthera, Andros Abaco, and Exuma. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest.
Well, the educational community getting ready to pay their respects to late educator Leroy Miller. The former mathematics teacher and principal spent years touching the lives of others. A special memorial service is set for this Thursday at Central Church of God to pay their final respects.
We're going to be there as family, and I just want to say on behalf of the Miller family how much we appreciate what they're doing, because they have a long history of having Mr. Miller as a part of the educational system.
His greatest concern was to see that his students succeeded and that they did well. And not only the students in his grades, but those in the entire department. That kind of dedication he took with him even when he left into tertiary education.
Retired educator Cecil Thompson and District Superintendent in the Ministry of Education Ivan Butler both built a strong relationship with the late Miller and recall him being someone they both could count on.
He was, in my humblest opinion, one of Grand Bahama's most distinguished, dedicated, and beloved educators.
He will be greatly missed. As far as education is going, we have lost a giant in education, particularly in the mathematics department. And so our hearts are grieved, and we just mourn his passing. May his soul rest in peace.
Well, for the first time, a business expo will be taking place on April 1st in the 8 Mile Rock community, staged by the 8 Mile Rock East Township. The expo is expected to display various businesses in the community, host job openings, and also seminars that will educate the residents on ways in setting up businesses. Jolanda Thompson Everest reports.
It is a business expo geared towards exposing the world of commerce in 8 Mile Rock. The 8 Mile Rock East Township representatives say this initiative will educate the residents on the legal structure of a business and also highlight opportunities happening right there in the community. Chairman of 8 Mile Rock East Township, Alfred Williams, says the plan is to have the businesses come out and display their goods and services and also respond to the various concerns residents may have.
They can expect to learn about what to expect when you come into 8 Mile Rock East in terms of businesses that are available and also skills that are available, services in a wide variety of ways, with no exceptions. What can also be learned of this is that the general public or persons wanting to do business can also learn about the process of opening a business or obtaining information in that regard.
Member of 8 Mile Rock East Township, Barbara Gray, giving further details for those that may be interested.
The Business Expo is going to be held on the 1st of April. That's the first Saturday, the Saturday before Easter. We're starting at 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. The location is the St. Stephen's Anglican Church grounds.
Renee Morford sharing the details in Creole.
M'a répété tout ba yo de nou. 1er avril, nous avons un Business Expo cap dans St. Stephen's 8 Mile Rock. Pour entrer 8 Mile Rock, ou après tout tent yo. Raison pour Expo, c'est parce que nous besoin tout le monde connaît ça qui business nous gain 8 Mile Rock. Nous gain quand nous acheter rad, nous acheter souliers, nous acheter manger, qu'importe ba nous besoin, n'a besoin l'autre bois. Il commence à 11h du matin pour 6h après-midi. Tout le monde ça yo là, qu'importe question nous besoin demander monde, nous tout là pour nous demander. Merci à tout le monde.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson Everest.
Shane Stubbs is up next with your check on sports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to yet another edition of Sports. We've got some updates in flag football as well as track and field, but let's begin with some basketball. The Royal Bahamas Police Force taking the title as champs of this year's ZNS Healthy Lifestyles basketball tournament.
We have a great team, great talent. All my guys here, they are experienced ball players, and it was just took a little bit of time just to get the chemistry together, but all in all, we fit everything together like a puzzle. The police is always interested in partnership with the community. Whatever walk in life, we're here for everybody.
The police force took on the GB Power Company, dominating that contest 43-22. The Rand Memorial Hospital and Immigration needed overtime to decide a winner, and it was the Rand taking that one 33-30.
All in all, immigration is a good team. Maybe let's put together and do what we have to do.
In other scores, the Freeport Container Port handled Bahama Rock by a final score of 45-24. And in the main event, after a lot of trash talk, the ZNS Z-Bolts took down the Ministry for Grand Bahama Ballers 28-25. Next in sports, some of our local high school stars giving it their all on the final day of the National High School Track and Field Championships, Carifta Trials. The Jockeyable Wildcats would take the silver medal in the under-17 boys' 4x100 meter finals. They would record a time of 44.21 seconds in Section 1 of those finals. SAC, though, would record the fastest time, 43.23 seconds, to win the gold. In the under-20 boys 4x100 meter finals, the Tabernacle Falcons finished with the second fastest time, 42.37 seconds. The Sunland Stingers would then go on to secure the bronze with a time of 44.16 seconds. They followed behind SAC, who took the tape in 42.15 seconds. In individual efforts, BMES's Kiasha Thomas secured gold in the under-14 girls' 200 meters, dominating the field in 25.28 seconds. And in that same event, Keyshawn Pender of St. Paul's would best the under-14 boys' field to the tune of 23.72 seconds. Carifta qualifier Aaron Barr would take silver in the under-17 girls' 800 meters, and Sunland Baptist's Janae Pender ran away with the gold in the under-20 girls' 100-meter hurdles. And lastly in sports, scores from Grand Bahama Flag Football League action over the weekend. The Three Links boys blanked the Coca-Cola Knights 19-0. Sky's the Limit Rock boys would then pick up the W against the Buckeye Oilers 29-6. The Out to Sea Tridents outlasted the Fidelity Flames in OT by a final score of 1-0. Lady Elites shut out the Pink Sands Tigers 12-0, and the Mobile Gold Tritons defeating the Container Port Stackers 20-12. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's your update in sports this evening. I'm Shane Stubbs. Be safe and be great.
The coconut got this, cocoa skin dripping madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like sugar in a dripping like ice honey, I think all of my love me, sweet like sugar in a watch it go ba ba ba, 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 sweet like sugar in a
new Click Platinum flavor, flavored beers with a kick of rum, make it platinum.
Athletes across the Northern Bahamas inspire us with their performances on and off the field.
ZNS is proud to honor these competitors with our Athlete of the Month award. We will select an athlete whose story and accomplishments represents the best in their sporting discipline. Tune in to find out who will be the Athlete of the Month.
Will an athlete be you?
We are going back to where the independence movement began, here on Grand Bahama.
That's right, Rick. 50 years ago, on the eve of independence, two men insisted that the first flag of an independent nation be lifted in West End to symbolize the struggle to attain an independent nation.
We will explore the home of hospitality, the country's largest settlement. What has changed and what remains the same?
5 decades later, we will also remember the fight, the movement, the growth, and the strength of the people of West Grand Bahama.
I'm Ricardo Lightboy.
And I'm Shashina Roll Farquharson. Join us beginning March 27th through the 31st every day at 2 p.m., where we will be coming to you live from West Grand Bahama in a special launch of our ZNS Independent Series, Till the Road We Trod.
Only on the ZNS Network.
It's the afternoon beat. Afternoon beat. 8:10 a.m. Afternoon beat with Zion. Join me Monday to Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. on 8:10 a.m. It's the afternoon beat with Zion.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Our Facebook friend of the day is Roger Russell Jr., the son of our colleague here in the North. We also want to wish you a special happy belated birthday, bro. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know Roger thought that was for him just now. But that concludes the Bahamas here tonight. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the National Report, a high-speed police chase. Marriage and NCD's risk. Online fraud spike. And in sports, Carifta track and field team named. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, switch to BTC today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The makings of a good action-packed movie playing out on the streets of New Providence early this morning. A high-speed chase, a police officer shot in the face, and only a matter of time before those responsible brought to justice. Carla Palmer has the details.
Police returning to the crime scene this Tuesday, where one of their own is now hospitalized after being shot in the face and chest. The incident unfolding around 12:30 this morning at the intersection of Robinson Road and East Street. Police say it all began with a traffic infraction, as officers from Operation Ceasefire on routine patrol observed 3 men in a black Nissan Note traveling west on Robinson Road at a high rate of speed. What happened next has officer in charge of public relations, Chief Superintendent Chris Link Skippings, angry.
The officers, utilizing their beacon lights, attempted to stop the vehicle, at which point a rear seat passenger of the black Nissan Note opened fire on the vehicle, which resulted in the driver being shot to the face. I can say that the driver was taken to hospital where he presently remains in stable condition. We are not tolerating this type of behavior. No longer. It will not. And you will see an aggressive approach on criminals. We are actually waging war on the criminals. So family members, relatives, cousins, girlfriends, ensure that your family members, who you know, are involved in criminal activity. Speak to them. Encourage them to abide by the laws governing the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
From Robinson Road, a high-speed chase ensued, resulting in the suspects crashing and ditching their vehicle right here at the rear of the Garden Hills Community Park. At daylight, a group of teenagers play basketball at the park site, oblivious to events occurring hours earlier. The suspects may have evaded police, but only for a short time. Police soon arrested two of them right at their homes somewhere here in the Ridgeland Park community.
We was able to take 3 suspects who are presently in custody.
Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson is in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department, CID.
2 of them are on bail for serious offenses, and we continue to see this with these persons who are on bail for these serious matters. One is outfitted with an ankle monitor. They continue to offend, although being on bail, and continue to offend for the same type serious matter that they are on bail for.
Chief Superintendent Johnson could not say how soon before the suspects will be charged before the courts or exactly what charges they will face. However, he says they are cooperating fully. Still, as they seek to bring closure to this case, their attention is also focused on their colleague and friend, who is recuperating. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, in the wake of this morning's police-involved shooting, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, defended officers against the criticism that their efforts may not be enough.
Anyone who believes that the police, who as last night would indicate come under fire, would somehow not take every step they can to stop gun trafficking is an idiot, because it's in their own self-interest to stop guns coming on the street, because they are the ones who have to put themselves between the gunman and us. So the public should rest very assured that every policeman does the best he could to keep this menace off our streets, because his duty is to confront it.
Munro also fought off claims the government may not be doing enough to address gun trafficking, and this coming after the Bahamas joined Mexico and other countries in the region in a lawsuit to hold U.S. gun manufacturers accountable. Equally troubling is the misconception that most illegal weapons enter the country on pleasure vessels.
And the reality of what is happening in the courts is that the government isn't asking the courts to do anything. Mexico's lawsuit is very simple. You have gun manufacturers and you have gun retailers. The majority of gun retailers don't sell to straw purchasers. And so the 17 or 18% who do that, straw purchasers being the one who then traffic the guns, it's a simple thing. Stop selling to retailers who sell to straw purchasers. And if you don't, there'll be a penalty. The guns are tracked back to the gun shops, tracked back to the purchasers, and the intelligence is that they seem to be coming in more often than not in cargo, not in pleasure crafts.
The National Security Minister also tonight decrying what police have confirmed is an increase in sexual violence cases being reported within the last year, with rapes increasing 15% over 2022. Munro says the figures rose during the COVID-19 pandemic when people were inside. His comments coming after a number of rape and unlawful sex incidents and following the rape of a 19-year-old woman reported on Exuma this past weekend.
The fact that this is another element of criminality that's on the rise tells us that people are disordered. So when you think that you can force yourself on someone, be it a man or a woman who is doing it, that a person's upbringing couldn't have inculcated in them that you are to respect people's privacy if you expect them to respect yours. We continue to make it easier for people to report these offenses.
Monroe reminds that the country has a sexual offenders register, that those who violate others sexually remain on for an extended period of time.
People will say their convictions follow them. That is a conviction that will follow you. That is a conviction that will disentitle you to work around children. That is a conviction that will probably drive people not to hire you, certainly around women. So before people think about that, you should think about the weight that it will put on your life going forward.
In related news, police sounding the alarm over a disturbing online trend that's led to an increasing number of residents falling victim to fraudsters. Fern Carey has the details.
Police warning members of the public about a spike in online fraud in recent weeks. Director of the Financial Crimes Investigation Branch, ASP Anthony McCartney, says fraudsters are becoming more creative in their attempt to lure unsuspecting victims, and he's urging residents to be extremely vigilant, especially online.
As persons are contacting members of the public purporting to be workers or employees of a financial institution, in particular, some of the local banks that we have here, these persons are quite crafty, and in most instances, they would present a set of schemes or present information in order to get you, the members of the public, to give them particular certain sensitive information as it relates to their online banking.
Crafty fraudsters are also hoping their victims will fall for this trick.
So they are asking persons to download particular applications on their electronic devices. And once that is done, we find that in certain instances, the members of the public would not have access to their account information. They are locked out and monies are transferred from their accounts.
Now, residents are also being advised not to save their personal information on public computers, as it can become a doorway for fraudsters.
Another piece of advice we would want members of the public to know, persons asking you to transfer money outside of the country, that should raise a red flag. That is a no-no.
McCartney believes the scam artists live in the Bahamas and are part of an international criminal network snaring victims across the country. He offered this advice on how to protect yourself online.
So we're just asking persons to do due diligence. Just remember that the banking institutions would not contact you via telephone, and they would not ask you to provide that information over the phone. So it is very simple. If you have a concern, if you are contacted, please go into your financial institution and make an inquiry there. We're asking you not to give that sensitive information over the phone or via online by an app that these fraudsters may have asked you to download on your device.
Police are encouraging victims of online fraud to reach out to the Financial Crimes Investigation Branch or the nearest police station to file an official complaint. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
A meeting of the minds underway at the University of the Bahamas. Our LaDawn Davis joins us live with more details. Good evening, LaDawn.
Well, Makushla, we're here at the Harry Seymour Library, where a policymakers lecture series is expected to take place here at the University of the Bahamas. Now, just a few moments ago, the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, just arrived here at the Harry Seymour Library. As you can imagine, he is the guest speaker to talk about law and order, law and maintaining order here in the country. But tomorrow's newscast will have full details on what happened here at the University of the Bahamas lecture series. Live from the University of the Bahamas, LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News. Makushla, back to you.
Well, thanks, LaDawn. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
you overpaying for low speeds with your internet provider? Stop wasting your money. Switch to BTC for the fastest internet to the most homes in the Bahamas. Get up to 300 megs fiber fast speeds, up to 3 times faster than what you get now. Plus, get 164 TV channels, all for just $42.50 a month for 12 months. That means you'll save $860 for the year. For the fastest speeds across the Bahamas and the lowest price by far, BTC is for you. Switch to the largest fiber network in the Bahamas.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaya. Hamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
The most important thing in life is family, and whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
This segment of the news is brought to you by RBC. Discover mortgage ideas shaped around you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story to start your story today.
Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honourable Chester Cooper, learning more about Royal Caribbean International's plans for the Bahamas during a recent meeting with its CEO, Michael Bailey, at the Fort Lauderdale Marriott Hotel. Minister Cooper led the delegation of tourism stakeholders that also included Nassau Cruise Port CEO and Director Mike Mora, who engaged in a very positive discussion on strengthening the country's partnership with the leading cruise liner. Details of the Tourism Development Corporation bill were also discussed as the government looks to bridge the gap between Bahamian entrepreneurs making a profit and delivering the right amenities that would attract high-end cruise passengers. And speaking of cruise liners, a new vessel added to the Bahamas Maritime Registry. Carnival Venezia senior leadership team and the Classification Society completed all necessary registration processes and raised the Bahamian flag during a ceremony in Spain today. Built in 2019, the new ship accommodates up to 5,145 guests and 1,393 crew members. Carnival Venezia is on dry dock in Spain with a plan to leave on a 15-day transatlantic journey sailing from Barcelona to May 29th. The ship will have 10 different cruise durations and 22 unique itineraries featuring visits to 25 ports across 14 countries. Well, health and wellness officials continuing efforts to enhance the delivery of services across the country, and that includes ongoing training exercises for health care professionals, with more nurses to soon be added to the healthcare system.
And we are now moving into our second cohort of training, and to announce very shortly our training to bring into the public service and the Ministry of Health 100 trained clinical nurses every year for the next 4 years in order to fill the gaps that are necessary to provide the service that we are happy to provide.
Well, still on health, non-communicable diseases continue to be the biggest killers worldwide and here in the Bahamas. But how does one's marital status contribute to this troubling plague?
Times have changed.
Marriages in Bahamian society are just not as common as they once were, as borne out in data collected for the recently released STEPS 2019 survey. Leaning on an examination conducted by notable psychologist Barrington Brennan, the survey found that the number of people getting married each year from 1975 to 2005 had not grown. And this despite the population increasing. During this period, the marriage rate incrementally declined from 5.6 per 1,000 to 5.3 per 1,000. However, the divorce rate was traveling in the opposite direction from 0.5 per 1,000 in 1975 to 2.1 per 1,000 in 2000. 10 years later, in 2010, 20% of marriages had ended in divorce. Now, for those of you wondering about the correlation between one's marital status and health, here's the thing. Research has found that the family dynamic may have implications for household income, the stability of support systems, the availability of time for food preparation, and even physical activity. For instance, it was determined that 54% of married people had at least one non-communicable disease, compared to 41% of non-married people. Unemployment also associated with the presence of more NCD risk factors, with figures showing that among the unemployed, the largest percentage at 55.5% had 3 to 5 NCD risk factors, compared with the employed, who for the largest percentage of 52.4 had 1 to 2 NCD factors. Furthermore, the Bahamas deemed one of the most expensive places to live in globally. Even the employed may have reduced discretionary income and the financial capability to afford healthier food options. Copay or deductible for the cost of medication to manage their diagnosed NCD conditions, or to even afford life-saving procedures. We can also tell you that based on the survey, a little over a third of respondents had private health insurance, more females than males. In other news, scores of Bahamian graduates from the International Law Enforcement Academy recently hosted to a welcome reception at the home of U.S. Charge d'Affaires Yusha Pitts. The academy is based in Ghana, Hungary, Thailand, Botswana, New Mexico, and El Salvador, were established in 1995 by U.S. President Bill Clinton to combat international drug trafficking, criminality, and terrorism. Over the years, 422 Bahamians from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Financial Intelligence Unit, Public Prosecutions, the Departments of Immigration, Customs, and Correctional Services have benefited from the Academy's training. RBPF Commissioner Clayton Fernandez is a 2010 graduate of the Academy's Law Enforcement Management Development Program. The non-resident ambassador of the Holy See to the Bahamas, His Excellency, the Most Reverend Santiago DeWitt Guzman, yesterday presented his letters of credence to Governor General His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius Smith. Accompanying the Catholic diplomat was Roman Catholic Archbishop of Nassau, the Most Reverend Patrick Pinder. The Holy See is the diplomatic representative of the Roman Catholic Church and the Pope. Well, as the country prepares to celebrate its 50th Independence Jubilee, a local resort has already started its celebrations. The Sandals Resort hosting its first canteen takeover Independence Extravaganza today. And Desmond Saunders was there.
It was all Bahamian Day here at the Sandals Resort. Today's event showcasing all things Bahamian, succulent native dishes, pulsating Bahamian rhythms. The nation's singing bishop, Lawrence Roll, headlining today's festivities.
I love gospel singing, and you know, when the Sandals manager called for me to sing, you know, I was like, you know, because I got so much on my plate. You know, I'd be so busy working so hard, and I said, well, you know what, if you all could give rice, water, or anything to feed the massive of people, it's approximately most 2,000 people a week.
And Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort heeded the call, donating tons of grocery items to Bishop Roll's feeding program in exchange for his performance during today's event. Public Relations Manager at the resort, Renee DeLeon, calls it a win-win.
When we reached out to Bishop Roll, one of the things he said to us is that I have no issues coming to perform at your resort. However, However, you know what I do. We feed the communities, and that is what we do at Sandals as well, through the Sandals Foundation, which is our philanthropic arm. So we decided that we wanted to partner with Bishop Roll to feed some communities, to feed some families.
Now, the Sandals Canteen Takeover was an initiative introduced by Sandals executives earlier this year to boost employee morale.
It was amazing. I was shocked when I saw Bishop came in singing. I couldn't stop dancing. I had to put my fork down. I stopped eating. I had to dance.
I would think team building, togetherness, and oneness.
It's really a pop-up event where separate groups of managers will take over the canteen each month. So even though it is meant to really be spontaneous, the team members know that every month they can expect something. They just don't know what to expect. And so today we came with a Bahamian theme. And I think it was very, very important. We made that decision, we thought about it. It was a decision that was, like I said, premeditated. We wanted, as a company, as a brand, to assist and to aid in commemorating the 50th year of independence for the Bahamas.
Hundreds of Sandals employees now eager for next month's event. But for now, the Canteen Takeover, embracing the true ideals of patriotism, forward, upward, onward together. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
Tonight, let's travel to Western China, where our Anthony Smith toured one of China's most historic temples.
Ladies and gents, welcome to the Fa Hai Temple. Come on, let's go. I lied. That was not the Fa Hai Temple. The Fa Hai Temple is actually up this mountain. And we gotta walk there to get there. As my Nigerian friend says, this is going to take an act of faith. If you look up ahead there, you can see the Fa Hai Temple nestled in the mountains. So far, it's okay. We're a little tired, but we'll get there. And here we are, guys, at the foot of the temple, and I'll just have to see you on the other side.
And the name was given by the emperor himself. The construction was finished 5 years after it started in 1443 AD.
It dates back to the Ming Dynasty, and it was built for the royal family. So, literally sitting in the presence of historic royalty. So located in this particular hall is a bunch of artifacts that date back to that time, whether it be a stone carving or take a look at this. It's called a chong. It is a huge piece of the history from that time, but in today's layman terms, it's just a pestle and mortar. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the tour of the Fa Hai Temple. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!
Well, Anthony, we certainly do wish we were all there with you. Now time for the weekly poll question. And this week we're asking, should there be a margin increase for gas station operators? Yes or no? To participate, simply log on to our website, www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. And as always, thanks for participating. The National Report returns in a moment. Stay with us.
Everybody's idea of home is different, so every mortgage should be unique, shaped around you, flexible to move and change as you do. RB RBC will come to you to get you started and stay by your side to help guide you every step of the way. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story and start your story today.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RBC Caribbean.
You can find it all at Builders Mall. From cement, lumber, block, plumbing, and electrical to paint, lights, vanities, and tiles. Not to mention all the tools you could possibly need to get the job done. So if you're starting a major project, adding the finishing touches, or just doing some repair or rental work around the house, FYP, the Paint Center, and Tile King can help. Stop by or call 601-8453. Located 69 Wolf Road, Nassau. You can find it all at Builders Mall. Building, painting, and tiling, the Bahamas.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A brand that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Searching for insurance for your beloved senior citizen? Star General offers the Silver Medical Plan for which you can apply up to age 85. The network includes the finest hospitals and healthcare centers worldwide. Insurance is provided through an AM Best A-rated insurer with reinsurance support through Lloyd's of London. Other features include no medical tests required, 4 deductibles, and $2 million lifetime benefits. Visit or call Star General Health and Life Insurance today.
Athma Bowe, Deputy Chair here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, sharing fond memories of his dear friend Ed Bethel, who died earlier this month at the age of 82. Bowe reminisced on the lasting impact Bethel made on his life.
Later on in life, we got involved in civics, to give it that name. And so you'd find Ed just about in every community, speaking to young people, letting them know how to be all you can be. I did a lot of my studies in international relations, so I would like to hear him speak about the world. And as I got up in my career and I started to travel, many of the advice he had given me was very relevant. Chogam 85. He coached me as I became one of the lecturers to those persons who participated in Chogam 85.
Get cash back from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Receive $10 off your bill when you complete our online survey. We want to hear from you. Help us serve you better.
Visit www.wsc.com.bs to complete our survey and receive $10 off your next bill.
It's fast, easy, and rewarding.
The Water and Sewage Corporation. Committed to growth, committed to quality.
That work? Can you see me?
Yeah, it's working. This is super cool. Are you gonna help me clean up your toys?
Delivery.
Be right there.
Hello?
Am I gonna get it or are you gonna get it? I'll get it. I'll get it. Hey, thank you. Come on.
Hey, can I help you? Hey.
No, sorry, I'm not home. I'm coming.
When passion turns into a profession. 6 years after launching Island Buzz Apiary on Exuma, Marsha Musgrove's business is thriving. The entrepreneur wanted to do something outside the norm, and so the bee farm was birthed. Musgrove, who produces honey and a wide range of products, recently showcased her items at the opening of the Forbes Hill Cultural Village.
I always loved catching bees as a child. After I was transferred here to Exuma from my employment, I wanted to do something that the other ladies didn't do. I didn't want to do the straw work and so forth. I wanted to do something different. I love farming, but for some reason I can't grow onions. So I decided to try my hand at beekeeping. So I have one of the largest beekeeping farms in Exuma.
Musgrove says the business requires hard work, but it's also extremely profitable. Her farm is located in Hermitage, and Musgrove, who has extensive bee and honey knowledge, says different seasons produce a different color honey.
I encourage a lot of young people who want to get into it. If you're on the island, I can help train you. And, you know, not only men do beekeeping, women do beekeeping also.
Well, it's now time for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Partly cloudy skies again this evening. Temperature at 82 degrees. Your relative humidity 60%. We have southwest winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.4 millibars. That is 30.04 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the Family of Islands this evening. They are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 83 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Grand Toll Key in Abaco, Maritime, Abaco. A little cooler at 80 degrees. The Berry Islands, 82. Alistown, Bimini also at 82 degrees. 81 in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 80 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros reporting 82 degrees. 79 in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key. Georgetown, Exuma at 80 degrees. 86 extends into Rygut Island, Clarence, Down Long Island, and the Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Meguana, 81. Acklands, 81. Machitani, Nagua, 82. And the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Ball, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter in the Northwestern Islands tonight through tomorrow. Southwest to west winds. We have a weak front system pushing through the area. It will pass through practically unnoticed. The speeds are going to be around 10 to 15 knots with the wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 8 o'clock this evening, another low tide at 9:11 tomorrow morning. For the central and southeastern islands through Wednesday, east to southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. As we take you into Thursday in the northwest parts of our country, those winds will become northeast behind that frontal system. The speeds increasing 12 to 18 knots, wave heights also building 3 to 6 feet over the ocean, so caution flags go up for the northwest Bahamas on Thursday. Low tide will take place at 10:13 in the morning, with the high tide occurring at 4:01 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, northeast-east winds 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. It's going to do it for your morning forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Holy gray, your boat needed bailing out. Yeah, that sailor man sound. Holy gray, your boat needed bailing out. Yeah, the sailor man sound. You wanna go to heaven, put the rudder on your head, boy. That's the sailor man sound. If you wanna go to heaven, put the rudder on your head, boy.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pyfrom. Recently, senior executive leaders and our technical team toured South Andros, where extensive work is ongoing.
We're here in South Andros and actually just back from Mangrove Key. We've met with community leaders, including MP Lundy, had a chance really to continue listening here in South Andros, and we're going to continue this listening tour throughout the Bahamas. There's more we are doing as we head into April, but it's really exciting to be here on the ground and connect with the community in person and hear the areas for improvement and growth that we're going to take.
We're here in Andros today to address the concerns of the residents. We're doing checks and balances to ensure that we can now bring the customer services and give them a better experience. Once the immediate concerns are addressed, customers should feel the same type of services we have in Nassau, where they can surf, they can go on the internet, they can talk to their family and friends, they can get better internet service as well as better mobile service once we've done all of those corrections.
It's been a wonderful experience to journey with this senior leadership team throughout the islands and seeing what's happening on the ground. The management union is obviously on board with the CEO and his message on the One BTC concept, and we support him in his endeavors to get everything up and running.
I'm so happy to be here in Andros with the CEO and the senior leadership team. Having come from a strong technical background and listening to the customers' complaints and their services and see how eager our leadership is to address those concerns, it just makes me go back to the whole One BTC family theme and see that we are actually paying attention to our customers and wanting to improve the services of our customers, and that shows us that we are One BTC.
Everywhere along the length and breadth of this country, upgrades are headed your way. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well and be back here. Next, BTC Connection.
Have you been denied a U.S. visa and don't understand why? Have you been turned away from the U.S. border without an explanation? Maybe you've had a prior arrest or conviction and you're not clear on how to move forward at this point. Call our office. We may be able to help. 954-449-1833.
50. Wow, what a legacy. At CBS Bahamas, we've been helping you build beautiful for 50 years. We look forward to 50 more years and beyond in continuing to be the nation's one-stop shop for home building and improvement. CBS Bahamas. Build beautiful.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. It was an action-packed final day of the 2023 B3A's Carifta Trials and High School Track and Field Nationals. The three-day event saw 56 athletes achieve Carifta qualifying standards in their respective events. In the under-14 division, girls and boys combined, it would be the St. Augustine's Big Red Machine emerging victorious, winning with 236 points. Queens College Comets finished in second with 228. CAG's Raptors finished in third with 138. In the under-17 division, SAC once again came out on top with 317 points. The Comets finished a distant second with 191. Tabernacle Baptist finished in third with 145. And in the under-20 division, SAC would win again with 299 points. The Comets were again second. QC would finish with 179. And Tabernacle in third again with 93 points. After 3 days of build-up and competition and countless hours in the war room, officials ratifying the team that will represent the Bahamas here at home for the 50th edition of the Carifta Track and Field Games. A look at the roster. In the under-17 girls division, we have Jemiah Nabi, Cheyenne Demerit, Darvinique Dean, Akari Roberts, Tamia Taylor, Erin Barr, Bailey Major, Madison Moss, Grace Komalafe, Tyler Pratt, Zoe Adderley, Terrell McCoy, Kenise Cavala, Daniel Nixon, Kamara Strawn, and Diore Scott. In the under-17 boys division, we have Andrew Brown, Caden Smith, Ishmael Roll, Egan Neely, Tyrone Conliff, Zion Shepard, Zion Henfield, Ross Martin, Kenny Moxie Jr., Christopher Williams Martin, Quentin Roll, Joshua Williams, Zion Davis, Eris Pratt, Joshua Williams, Damian Bryce II, Ruben Bain, LaRouche Morley, and Jalen Stewart. In the relay pool, we'll have Giovanni Bridgewater and Trent Ford. As for the under-20 girls, we'll have Shatalia Dorset, Amari Pratt, LaCarthia Cooper, Joania Walcourt, Treasure Burrows, Jasmine Mackey, Akia Lightborn, Coy Adderley, April Adderley, Lanesha Lubin, Ane Mackey, April Adderley, Kalia Jackson, Jishan Brown, Kaylin Johnson, Vanessa Sawyer, and Essen Sands. In the relay pool, we'll have Quincy Penn, Nia Wright, and Melvin Gibson. For the under-20 boys, we'll have Carlos Brown, Adam Musgrove, Zachary Evans, Clinton LeQuire, Raymond Winder, Philip Gray, Christopher Saintis, Otto Lang, Tayshawn Robinson, Mateo Smith, Shamar Bain, Jonathan Rogers, Robert Deal, Laquan Ellis, Nathaniel McCarty, Caden Cartwright, Brendan Vanderpool, Eduardo DeVoe, Tyler Cash, and Rihanna Todd. As for the relay pool, we'll have Jonathan Fowler, Zion Campbell, Berkeley Munnings, Tamani Skinner, and Jeremiah Adderley. The team will be coached by John Ingram. B3A's President Jamiko Archer on the pressure that comes with selecting the team.
We were here from the start of the relays, which was around 10 o'clock. We went into meetings that lasted for about 4 hours, and then we invited the coaching community. So what happens is we have an executive team that meets jointly with the team selection committee. And we spent hours just deliberating and combing through the names and the stats, not only locally but throughout the region. And when I went outside, I saw a littering of coaches waiting for this team to be named. And it was near 3 o'clock. And that's just how tense it is, because everyone wants to be a part of Team Bahamas.
Archer also speaking on the Family Island Talent Search.
Perez spoke about our Family Island Talent Search and talent discovery. And I think that this is a testimony to how we can grow Team Bahamas exponentially when we tap into the resources of our family islands. And so it's an initiative that I think is historic for the Federation and historic for the country.
The annual Bahamas Youth Olympic Championship was held last weekend, hosted by the Bahamas National Sailing School and the Nassau Yacht Club, with sailing taking place in Montague Bay. The 10-boat laser fleet was won by Joshua Weech, and in second and third, respectively, were Zachary Knowles and Craig Ferguson, who all sailed with the Bahamas National Sailing School. The clear winner in the Sunfish fleet was Dawson Knowles from Long Island, with Jerron Francis and Delano Davis of the Bahamas National Sailing School in second and third, respectively. In the Bahamas Chess Federation holding their National Scholastic Chess Team Tournament over the weekend. To look at the final results, Queens College would win the U20 division. They would win the U16 division as well. Noah Albury would be the top U20 player, and the top U16 player would be Avian Pride. And that's been a look at your sports on this Tuesday. I'll check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Bahamians are rediscovering Grand Bahama through immersive staycation experiences at Lighthouse Point Grand Lucaia. Pamper yourself at our Senses Spa or savor exotic cocktails by the sea. Unwind and enjoy serenity, 18 holes of golf, fine dining, romance, business conventions and meetings, grand outdoor events. For Bahamas resident rates at Lighthouse Point, call 242-373-1333 or WhatsApp message 827-8195.
Sometimes life hints at your next step, sending you signs all around, even in unexpected places, to lead you in the right direction. The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage and switch to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch your mortgage to Scotiabank. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. Paying less gives you more when you switch to Scotiabank.
On March 31st, Phil Stubbs at the Farm. Tickets on sale now. $50 general admission, $75 VIP, $150 for the Skybox party. For Skybox rates, call 525-4180. Get your tickets online at BahamasEtickets.com. The Beauty Shack, Proud Mary, or any Flying Dutchman location. Joining Phil on stage, Veronica Bishop, Ancient Man, Mr. Anderson, Phil Stubbs, live in concert. Friday, March 31st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal? At the check-in counter? At security checkpoints? Or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the year. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. show you can. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas. Community farming for food security. Climate programs suited for our island country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, that area of high pressure that's been sitting across the Bahamas for the past several days will start to slide slowly towards the east. That will allow this front boundary to slowly sink towards the south and east. We expect it to move through by tomorrow afternoon, but it will move through practically unnoticed. Most of the weather seems to be behind that front system, so we'll perhaps get some showers the day after on Thursday. Tonight, we're looking at near clear skies with a low temperature of 72 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny and pleasant despite the fact that the front system is passing through the area. High temperature getting up to 83 degrees. And extended weather forecast looking like this. Pretty nice tomorrow as the front goes through, but come Thursday, we'll see some showers in the forecast and even possibly an isolated thunderstorm on Thursday as the weather behind that system gradually pushes through the area. Clearing will be expected on Friday. The weekend is looking pretty great, and the temperature is going to be really unchanged. We don't anticipate any significant change in temperature as that front system goes through. So we will have those daytime temperatures in the low 80s and the nighttime temperatures in the low 70s. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. And before we leave tonight, we want to wish our Deputy Chair, Athma Bowe, and his wife, Linda, a happy 53rd wedding anniversary. And Mrs. Bowe is also celebrating a birthday today. Best wishes from the Broadcasting Corporation. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
Feel the temperature rise, those intensify. It's time that we